Morning class. Are you all there? Yeah? We start with a very big smile as usual. Good morning, everybody. Hope you slept well. You're safe and healthy, and you're staying at home. Yeah? We shall overcome, right? Shall we start? Okay. Yesterday, I spoke to you about foreign direct investment. Foreign direct investment is very important in a country. It is an investment. What is the meaning of foreign direct investment? It is an investment by foreign direct individuals or companies. Good morning, Faizi. Yeah. Foreign direct investment is an investment by individuals or companies who foreign individuals and foreign companies or into business, the capital markets, or production in the host country. See, it is different from FII. All right, FII is foreign institutional investment. Foreign direct investment policy is regulated by FEMA and RBI. I have, good morning, Sashank. Masood has asked me to talk about the institutions that regulate. Yes, Masood, good morning. That is another chapter altogether. I will talk about it. Let's not confuse it now. Definitely, I have to talk about it. I'll talk to you in another class. Okay, I have to talk to you about the World Bank and IMF, everything. And when I talk about that, I'll talk to you about the institutions that regulate international business. All right. So in India, it is FDI is managed by the FEMA and the RBI. Then yesterday I told you telecommunications services and computer software were the top areas that are currently attracting foreign direct investment into India. And now today we will talk about why India requires or see. I'll do two things. I cannot. I will tell you the strengths of India and why India is getting FDI, etc. But there are a lot of you, many of you who are not from India. So you have to, I will also tell you what is the requirement. So when I say for example, I will say a stable government in our country has attracted FDI. So you can understand whether your country has a stable government or not, and etc. I know many of you are from Afghanistan. I have my sympathies with you. But what I'm trying to tell you is, it's we have hope. That's why you have come to India and you're learning MBA. We have always hope for a better tomorrow. Yeah, you never know how the world changes. See what was last month. We were driving on the road, and today we are told to sit at home. Even going on the road is an offense today. So you never know how things will change, and maybe y'all, my MBA students, are the future of your country. The future politicians is possible. All right. So here we are. We have a stable government. Tell Mohammed Amin that he's not logging in, and I'm not very happy about it. Yeah. So first, I talked to you about stable government in our country. I explained a strong economic growth, which we have, robust domestic demand. Robust domestic demand is supported with the consumers' earning power and purchasing power. All right, we have in our country much more earnings than what we had about 15 years ago, 10 years ago. It is increasing, and there's a lot of private corporate growth is going happening, and because of corporate growth, people are getting better salaries, and IT has improved greatly. So you have that, and then there are economic reforms. The government has whichever government from the past 20 years, every time the government is making economic reforms that such that it makes the entry and the this thing staying in our country of MNCs simpler, much more simpler than before. Many things I explained to you yesterday what happened. Now see, It would be a waste of time for me to go into and tell you what is FIPB, what is direct investment. It's very easy. I have given you notes. I have sent you two word documents. It's all explained there. That is, you can see that. See what you cannot understand, what you cannot read. I'm going to explain. Now, one more thing I want to tell you, Ravish. Good morning. Now, one more thing I want to tell you is, uh, see, there are some sectors which have 100%, which can enter 100% into our country. So all that is given in the notes, that two word documents I've given you. Please see in that, it will gives you support. Also, there is one more document called India 1 and India 2. In that, India 1 tells you what I told you. India 2 gives you why it is not my article. It is an article I took from internet. Thanks to that, thanks to the website, I've given it there. Acknowledgement website is given there. It says how FDI has, how India is benefiting by FDI. Now, I will discuss here also, not only India, how a country benefits from foreign direct investment. So we have a young workforce. I'm sure in your countries too, whoever foreigners are listening to the workforce, the strength of the workforce. Now that's a I am not very sure about the young workforce, because in our country, as I told you, the median age of the population is 31.3. It You find out the median age of the population in your own countries, and you will be able to tell whether the workforce is young or not. Like 31.3 median age means 50% of the population, that is median age, is middle. Median means middle, as I've taught you in stats. So what I'm trying to tell you is 50% of the population is below the age of 31. So you can imagine, see, they say, it is said that the capacity of working very hard begins from 25 to 40, 45. Okay, after that, steadily the capacity declines, it is said. It may or may not be true, but yes, you can believe, the people have the belief that a younger workforce. Amreen, good morning. A younger workforce means a younger, yeah, means better, productive workforce. Younger workforce they think of as productive workforce. So you have the young workforce in India, and then economic reforms, as I told you. So some of the reasons that foreign investors are betting on India as a long-term investment, because you employ someone who's 25 for the next 15 years, so you can think of having him here. Now remember, next slide. Singapore emerged. I'm doing this one, FDI. Yesterday, I sent you one PowerPoint without a name. I told you I gave a name, but it didn't, this thing. So that slide I'm doing. Singapore has emerged the largest source of FDI in India during the first quarter of September of 2019, with US dollar 5.33 billion investment. So who is the biggest investor currently in India? Singapore. Okay. I've given you the routes through which India gets FDI, the automatic route and the government route. You look into it, it's very simple. I'm sure you have learned in other subjects also. Now, FDI plays a very important role in the economic development. I'll just tell you simply like this. Okay, every country requires finance to develop. Let us take a business example of a business. Okay, if a business has to expand, it requires capital. Simple. Okay, so you can take capital in the form of loan from the bank. When you take a loan, every month you have to give a fixed charge as the interest, isn't it? And that is not very comfortable when you do not have much income or revenue. Giving the fixed charge for repayment of the loan, the EMI, etc., is Rajesh Kumar. It's not very comfortable. Yeah. So what happens is, if you take venture capital, venture capital doesn't mean that you need to venture capital. You various rules are there, but it certainly doesn't mean that in the very next month or within 6 months or a year you start paying back the bank loan, something like that. So what I'm trying to tell you is understand that when you take a loan, you have every month a fixed charge to service. All right, you have to give to the bank a fixed amount of charge as interest or installment or something like that. So you think of a country. When a country requires development, it requires money. And this money, if you take it as a loan from, say, the World Bank or some IMF or something, IMF is part of the World Bank. So when you talk about that, you have to keep money, give money back. So a country takes huge loans, so huge amount of interest. You cannot concentrate on using the money because you are always worried about repayment. So if you think about FDI, foreign direct investment, what happens is a foreigner comes, he invests in your country through all the correct sources and all that, and naturally the money has come in, the development has taken place without the involvement of the government, sort of. The involvement of the government is there as a regulator, but the government has not taken loan. So there's no point of repaying the fixed payment. So this is the benefit of having FDI in a country. You understood, I think. Yeah. Now, the first thing that number one is missing there. Sorry, it helps in balancing international payments. What happens uh, when FDI comes into India? Foreign currency comes into India, isn't it? So naturally, you can help in it helps in balancing international payments. Inflow of foreign currency in the economy allows the government to generate adequate sources, which helps to stabilize the balance of payments. You know the meaning of balance of payments, and there you are. Uh, Sorry. It helps in balancing international payments. I hope you understood, right? Now, see, India's balance of payment is always now favorable from quite a few years. It says the inflow of money, 33 one-third percent, is what expatriates are sending to India. NRIs are sending to India. One third of that money. Yeah. Okay. Then it's not bad, but it's not for investment. It's for saving. Imagine how many NRIs are there in our country. Okay, second one, FDI boosts development. You look into your slide in various fields. For example, when FDI comes in, it may bring in new technology, new management, and new skills. Let us look at the example of Toyota Kirloskar motor in Bidadi. Sorry, guys. Toyota Kirloskar motor in Bidadi. Toyota has joined with Kirloskar to start the firm. Now, when see, it is said Toyota has far superior manufacturing techniques. We know all about the Six Sigma, and in production and operations management, I taught you about Toyota's superior manufacturing techniques, how it affects, etc. We talked about various things like lean management and 5S. So many things we talked about. So all the Japanese seitan, shitsuke, sekitsu. Okay, you know that. So we talked. So that is how Toyota. Most of it is from Toyota, and the Six Sigma manufacturing, zero, zero defects. Then also the zero inventory, the Kanban, all this. So these things cannot be transferred. The knowledge of all these things has to be seen and the same. Okay, seen and experienced. So when Toyota comes to India, naturally the new technology, the new skills have come to India. See, I have a friend who works in 3M. He was telling me this incident that happened when he had just joined 3M. He was supposed to give a presentation at 10 a.m. So he was ready with the presentation, and he lethargically he thought, "Who will come at 10 a.m.? Huh? Why should I be there at 10 a.m.? Everyone will come at 10:30. So I'll go at 10:15, so I still have 15 minutes to set up, etc., etc." So this fellow walks in at 10:10, and to his horror, he finds that everybody, the top people, except him, were waiting for him. Everyone was on time. So what we call that IST, Indian Stretchable Time, doesn't really work. That's why I insist on your 9 o'clock class, because you're going to work and you're going to start work at 8 o'clock, maybe 8:30, maybe. So it's better to get in into that, get in early. Better to sleep early and get up early. It's always better for health, for wealth also. All right. Okay, here we are. FDI allows bridging the technology gap also when foreign technology comes in, and it helps to boost the scale of production because they are also producing. So it adds to the GDP. See, what is GDP? The gross domestic product is the sum of all the production in the country, whether it is made by foreigners or Indians. All the domestic production in the country, whether it is produced by Indians or foreigners, whatever is produced in Indian soil is gross domestic product. So it adds to the gross domestic product. Now the example is mostly of the automobile and automotive sector. The automotive sector was supposed to be contributing 5% 3 or 4 years ago, and it was said to be Sepide, good morning, ma. And it was Farhad, good morning. So it was said to see, I'll repeat, the automotive sector was contributing, not supposed to, was contributing 5 to 5% of the GDP a couple of years ago, 3 4 years ago, and say in 2020, it was or 2019, it was supposed to double. All right, double means 10% of the GDP comes from the automotive sector. Automobile is a part of the automotive sector. Okay, car manufacturing and or truck manufacturing and the related and supporting industries of this thing. This is all the automotive sector. So if you see how many MNC manufacturers are there, you have Ford, you have Honda, you have Volkswagen, you have Peugeot. So many are manufacturing in India, isn't it? Benz also, I think. So I'm not very sure where them Bharat Benz you have, no? So many trucks, cars, etc. My knowledge about truck manufacturing is limited in India, but I can talk to you about the car manufacturing, truck manufacturing. I'm not really sure. I must do a little study, and I can talk to you tomorrow about that. So we'll go into the next slide. I hope you understood. It boosts development in various fields. You can also say it contributes. FDI contributes to one class GFCF, the gross fixed capital formation. Write down if you want. It contributes to the GFCF, gross fixed capital formation. All right. Secondly, it boosts development in various fields, and next, it also contributes to the GDP of the country, gross domestic product of the country. All right. Next we go FDI and employment. See, ours is a country which requires employment. We are so many of us and we require employment. Where does employment come from in India? In India, most of the employment comes from the non-corporate sector. It is not the corporate sector that employs the most number of people. It is the non-corporate sector that employs most number of people. It is the MSMEs, the medium and the small scale industries who employ the most number of people. As is obvious, the blue collar workers, the non skilled workers, are not those who are working for the corporate sector, they are working for the small scale industries. So, the small scale industries, who entrepreneurs of India, they are responsible for giving the most number of employment. All right. So this is a different kind of thing that I want to say. Now what I'm trying to say is, here in this context, what I told you just now about the non-corporate sector giving this thing, giving the most number of employment, is not concerned with FDI. What I'm talking about FDI is foreign enterprises when they establish. For example, Coca-Cola, it has given employment to people, isn't it? So has Toyota, Kirloskar Motor, and you have many other, KFC, McDonald's. You have people who are employed there, isn't it? So FDI gives employment. Also, it empowers. If you see, you have the Starbucks. Hmm? Starbucks is a coffee firm. Actually, in India, we have that idea that it is a premium coffee making, coffee dispensing place. But actually, in if you see in the US, Starbucks is the coffee shop at the every corner of the US. It's not a premium entity, but because the Starbucks thought that Indians think of Starbucks as a premium entity, it has come into first it came into Tata's, the Taj hotels in Kerala. I think Cochin. I'm not sure of the place. The first Starbucks came into Taj hotels. All right. Now in Bangalore, you have the Starbucks. This thing. I was there in Jan last year. I remember. Just wanted to see the place. So Starbucks, and the coffee there is very expensive. Not our Darshini coffee of 10 rupees. You really have to dish out from your pocket. So it is a premium coffee shop in our country, isn't it? When coffee is 100 and 150 and plus, it is a premium place, coffee shop, this thing in our country. Now, what here, FDI and employment, you see, uh, based on the Starbucks business model, we have Cafe Coffee Day, CCD. CCD in our country is the same business model as that of Starbucks. CCD has gone further and supplied, etc. CCD has a strategy. I don't know whether you will. This is my personal opinion. See, when I go to Mangalore and we travel, you need to have restrooms, and the CCD restrooms are the best. So CCD also knows that we come there for the restrooms rather than for the coffee. But you can't go to the restrooms and escape. So naturally, we end up buying nachos and something like this. Okay. So CCD has business like that. People who can drive cars and go to CCD for the restrooms will be embarrassed enough not to use just the restrooms. They will also buy something. Okay. This is also, I find, a strategy of CCD. Okay. That is different. I went differently. Now FDI and employment, what I'm saying is, Indians, not Indians, I'm talking about India. So the many entrepreneurs can have similar business models. Walmart. I explained to you what Walmart does. The quantity discounts of Walmart, when they get quantity discounts when they purchase their product, and when they bring it and they give the differential of what they got to the customer. I explained to you with numbers in my one of my previous classes. So you have Food World, you have Reliance, you have all the big retailing firms in our country are the same, based on the same business model as Walmart. So we learn, and they learn from us, we learn from them. So that is how, not only employment, FDI gives employment, it gives ideas of business models on how it is possible. Small entrepreneurs also start this. I'll give you an example of some three persons in Pune, which I read in, I think, India Today or the Week. I read both, so I'm a little confused about which one. Some years ago, I read this. It said that there were, when retailing firms first came into India, and they started making supermarkets. Now, you know what are supermarkets and hypermarkets. In hypermarkets, you get clothes also. All right, in supermarkets, you won't get clothes and umbrellas. You will get your meat and fish and chicken. Okay, in departmental store you have departmental stores, then the sophistication into supermarkets, and supermarkets to hypermarkets. In hypermarkets, you'll get your clothes, shoes, umbrellas, bags, etc., which you won't get in supermarkets. So there's a little difference there. Though sometimes it's all confused, but that's the definition. Now, here what happens is, um, I was talking to you about. Yeah, in Pune. In Pune, what happened when all these supermarkets came, and these three fellows were having shops together. One of them sold vegetables, the other sold groceries like rice and all, and the other and soap and all, and another one was a pharmacist. They were friends, they had shops side by side. So, what they did is they just demolished their shops and made it into one, all the three shops into one big shop, and all three of them owned it. And in that single shop, there was all what vegetable, there were groceries, and there was medicine, for the pharmacy also, in one shop. So they thought that the customer finds it easy and useful to walk into one shop to do all the shopping instead of three shops. So this is a model that is taken off from the multinational retailing firms. All right, not that India didn't have, but it's a. I'm just telling the business models can be copied from each other, isn't it? We learn from them and they learn from us. FDI encourages export from host country. See, automobile manufacturers like cars, they are manufacturing Hyundai, all right, and Honda too. They are manufacturing Kia too. See, Kia was basically they had gone into Slovakia. Now, Slovakia is a broken off country from Czechoslovakia. From Czechoslovakia, you have two countries now, the Czech Republic and Slovakia. As I have explained to you about Poland, even Slovakia had the problem of looking for investment to improve the economy of the country, because it was a communist country before 1989, 1990, when the USSR broke off, glasnost happened. Then many countries stopped being communist, Romania, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, and this one, Poland, etc. Now, what happened is all these countries required this thing support for economic development, and they were trying very hard. So when Kia went to Slovakia for one main reason. See, Slovakia was part of the European Union. The European Union had 28 countries with the exit of Brexit. With the Brexit happening, that is exit of Britain, it is 27 countries now, if my knowledge is right. Then what happens is, um, when see, European Union has a strong political union for trade, as I explained to you in a few classes before. They even have a parliament that discusses trade. They have ministers Also, the ministry itself is there. It is separate, a parliament separate from the parliament that administers the country, a parliament meant for discussing trade. Now, it's a very powerful union and it has very strong regulating regulations. So what happens is everyone who joins the European Union will abide and adhere to the same regulations. Now, if Kia were to go into a powerful country like Germany, the Germany has labor laws which ensures that its blue collared workers are paid extremely well. Now, when you come to Slovakia, Slovakia is a developing country. A good wage seems like an excellent wage in a country that is developing. So Kia went to Slovakia, and not only Kia, Volkswagen, and one more I forget. Some automotive firms are in Slovakia. When you're in Slovakia, you get the benefit of the European Union and you also get the benefit of lower labor charges. Lower, you understand? So that is why we have Kia in our country too. So we have Honda and Hyundai and all. They manufacture cars in India for sale in India and for sale in other countries. So naturally, you're exporting cars. Thanks to FDI, you're exporting cars. Now, when they come and establish a factory here, it is foreign direct investment. More than 10% of the investment is invested directly into the infrastructure of India. So, I'm not sure about Kia, I'm sorry, I still have to do some research on Kia. But when Honda and Hyundai, I'm positive, is making cars in India and for other countries. So when Hyundai sends its cars abroad, it naturally becomes exports no for India. So FDI encourages exports from the host country. And also, FDI helps in creating a competitive environment in the country, which leads to higher efficiency. See, and superior production services. When you compare India, say Maruti car to Honda car, and you find that people are buying Honda cars, not Maruti cars, then Maruti will naturally improve. We have excellent facilities in Maruti too, isn't it? So Mahindra, see what beautiful kind of models they are bringing out. The SUVs and the other cars, even the electric cars. See, there is. It doesn't mean that Tata and Mahindra and all don't know to manufacture or they do not want to give good products to Indian. But definitely there is a boost in the competition, isn't it? It gives you a boost to do better. It gives you a boost to make more efficient, cost efficient vehicles, extra. You know, yes. Government initiatives to initiatives, that is there's a spelling mistake there in your next slide. Government initiatives, they are promoting, and the government is always promoting an investor friendly policy where most of the sectors are open for FDI under the automatic route, meaning no need to take prior permission for investment by the government or the RBI. Then automatic route. And FDI policy is reviewed on a continuous basis with the purpose that India remains an investor friendly and attractive FDI destinations. You know, the Golden Triangle, the road from, the roads improvement of the highways of India. These are also improvement for travel, isn't it? Improvement. Then you have these in Bangalore. You have place for only ITs. You have this kind of SEZ kind of things where you can have your factories there and you get your SEZ kind of thing. So you have this tech parks, etc. These tech parks and all that are established for making for investor friendly purposes. Like in Nagwara, near where I stay, you have IBM and other this things. So the whole place is investor friendly. All right. FDI covers various sectors such as defense, pharmaceuticals, asset reconstruction companies, broadcasting, trading, civil aviation, construction, and retail. The FDI policy is reviewed on a this thing, continuous basis with the purpose of making investor friendly and attractive FDI destination. India as an attractive FDI definition. The very population of India is a attractive FDI destination, according to me. Yeah, we are so many. All of us require toothpaste at least, isn't it? Yeah, toothpaste, soap. Then now we require hand wash. Yes, shampoo. All of us have hair, isn't it? Most of us Indians have hair. So you require shampoo. These are basic things that everybody requires. So imagine 1.2 billion people, 1.2 billion shampoos, 1.2 billion toothpaste, isn't it? So here we are. Look at this. There are relaxations. You talk about the statistics. I'm sure you can do it yourselves. Okay, we have FDI statistics. Recent announcements I've given you. Now, please go to that you just read up. Go to FDI 2 class. I sent you last evening, FDI 2. Yeah. Again, some this thing increased employment and economic growth. Some more points here. Human resources development. See, Philips has a human resources training center in Holland. So when you work for Philips, you probably go there and get trained. All right. There are firms in India, German firms, whose technical people are trained in Germany to come back and work in India. Really, good morning. Yeah. So when you go abroad, you get when you stay in your own country, in your own town, you develop a frog in the well attitude. You know about the story of the frog. But when you go outside, you are exposed to people, you're exposed to various cultures, and you're taught some training, etc. Your attitude changes, which is good for everybody. Yeah. Of course, India as a culture is great, but you have to be exposed to other countries. You become more tolerant. You get a wider mindset, etc. And you get skills when you get trained. You get skills and training, experience. So it boosts the education of the country. You may make based on your experience, you may see that your children get a better type of education too. Development of backward areas. Many times the Indian government puts you have backward area, the MNCs, some industrially backward areas are recognized by the government, and when if the MNC goes into that place, sorry, in the country, then there is a development of backward areas. All right, it gives a boost to the um, social economy of the area. The Hyundai unit is at Sri Perumbudur in Tamil Nadu. Yeah, so all the many locals are working in the unit, and the whole area gets a boost. Why? When you get a salary, you have purchasing power. You start to buy. When you start to buy, retailing firms come and establish themselves there. So the whole social economy improves. Simple, isn't it? I repeat, people in that say we had not a very great economy in that particular area. So when you work in that factory, Hyundai factory in Sri Perumbudur, what happens? You get salary. Your salary gives you Nanishwari, good morning. Your salary gives you purchasing power. When you take that purchasing power and you want to buy goods, Then people who supply goods come and establish themselves as supermarkets, etc., in that place. And you may need to buy cars, etc. So car showrooms, bike showrooms. When you all this comes, the social economy of that place improves. I hope you understood. Then provision of finance and technology. This I have said. You can take it again. Then increase in exports. This is another slide. I got some points on internet. Exchange rate stability, balance of payments, stimulation of economic development. What I told you about Sri Perumbudur can be all over the country. When when FDI establishes industries in the country, and people get jobs, etc. And you can see, even the blue collared workers in our country sporting expensive handsets or cell phones. And, this is because of their purchasing power. The purchasing power comes from the jobs they get. See, there are some workers near my house. They only build houses in this area. Now, one of them was telling me when I asked him whether he'd build something for me. He said, "I have a PAN card, ma'am. You don't have to worry." He is from a remote area in Karnataka, and he has settled in Bangalore only for the sake of building houses. And how does he get these houses? The people who are building houses have good jobs. It may come from MNCs, it may come from the corporate sector, Indian corporate sector, or the corporate sector, like Intel and IBM, etc. So when the good salary comes, you start building upstairs, etc. And these are the fellows who are, helping it. So there is stimulation of economic development. When you work for an MNC or a corporate sector, when you pay, they have to show the PAN card, and that's why this man has a PAN card. Okay, so this is the way. Factories, as I told you about the Belandur Gram Panchayat, that it gets a lot of tax payments from factories like Intel in that area. So similarly, there is additional tax revenue for the government, improved capital flow, and creation of a competitive market. So take the previous slide and this slide and put it all together, and we have, why India is a competitive country. No, sorry, sorry. I have told you about why FDI is required for our country. Basically, as I told you, think of it as not a loan, but as a FDI where you do not have to give fixed charges every month in the form of EMI or interest plus installment, etc. Excuse me. I've given you something like competitive advantage of India. I have explained to you in different terms. First is the government is giving the very friendly policy, investor friendly policy, and every time they are trying to improve the policy. The ease of doing business in India is still not very high ranked, but it is becoming better and better. And then many single window institutions are there, like in Karnataka, I told you. Somehow I forget the name of this thing. It is in Kanij Bhavan. Um, it is in Kanij Bhavan. There is an organization, government organization, which is a single window place for all MNC and FDI investment in Karnataka. And Karnataka is pretty good in FDI, attracting FDI. Karnataka is a place which is quite peaceful, very peaceful, and Bangalore is a wonderful city to live in, to work, etc. So Karnataka is a place which is very, investor friendly. Excuse me. Now, one more. There are some points in this slide that I have told you. If you have to Class, I will not go into. I have already spoken about India, whether it's an investor-friendly country. Now, your assignment would be: Is India competitive? Write down. Seniors, your assignment would be: Is India competitive enough to attract FDI? Discuss using practical examples. Discuss using practical examples. Right? Your question is India competitive enough to attract foreign direct investment? Illustrate your answer with suitable examples. Whatever examples I've given, you may also get lovely examples on the internet. I would like you to Google. Please write your team and put their academic articles. You will get a lot of articles by people, by academicians written. Please don't copy. Give the reference properly for each whatever ideas you're copying. You have to give the suitable reference. Yeah, it is not correct. Plagiarism is not correct. Right? Give the proper this thing and go into, as I told you, go into websites like Times of India, Economic Times, the BBC, CNN, Al Jazeera. You'll get news of the what businesses are doing, etc. All right. Okay. Now tomorrow, I think I will go on and talk about World Bank, IMF, all the institutions that there are that support international business. I think Masood is worried. He's trying to talk about: is it safe? How am I safe when I go to a foreign country? I think that is what he's talking about. I will talk tomorrow about those issues. All right. Now, a little about technology transfer. What is the meaning of technology transfer? I'll send you the this thing tomorrow. I would like you to Google and make some research, and then you'll have to write an assignment on technology transfer. Technology transfer is the transfer of some kind of technology from one country to another, usually from a developed country to a developing country or an underdeveloped country. Now, what are the advantages of technology transfer? Naturally, the transfer of technology, sometimes it is people themselves go and help in transferring the technology, and they go and set up something in another country, etc. Now, that is the advantages gaining of technology, and then whatever FDI has given, like boosting the social economy, boosting the GDP. All this will whatever I've said about FDI, you can attach to technology transfer. What are the disadvantages? Main disadvantage is that old technology uh, may be transferred. Technology that is not safe may be transferred sometimes. What is considered unsafe in one country is considered safe in another country. If you look into pharmaceuticals, etc., you can find that. And right, there are some products that are banned in some countries that are really so that are on over the counter, sold over the counter in other countries. But look at all this, and the main disadvantage of technology transfer is that the old and not unused, not necessary technology, which doesn't really give you efficiency in production, may be transferred. This is the main disadvantage. All right. So this is a technology transfer. You'll have to write an assignment about it. I'll discuss a little more on technology transfer tomorrow, and then I'll go on. I think I'll do World Bank and all the institutions which give you support in the form of loans, etc. And also the companies MEGA, which talks about, which helps you, which ensure your MNC when you go from your country to another country. Okay, I will also talk about the finance system, the gold currency, gold standard, and everything. Uh, Next. All right. With this, I think enough class today. Class. It's 11:05. I'll start class for juniors. I have to be a little sensitive about the time for the juniors because I think they have a previous class or something. Okay. By then, I'll see you at 10 tomorrow. All right. Smile. Please don't go out of your houses. Again, I'm telling you. Please keep social distancing. Yeah, I'm not capable of telling you where to buy your groceries, etc. But it can be still bought online through some apps. Yeah, I hope you're well, you're safe, you're happy. Even juniors can watch my class if you do not have any other class. All right. Take care. Smile, everyone. How? From year to year. This year to this year. Your smile. Big smile. Be strong. Remember, we are all there. All of us teachers are there with you. If you need any support, you can always call me or any of your teachers, whomever you have confidence, whom you would like to approach. You're all welcome. All of us are there for you. All right? Take care. God bless. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.